Chunky. Open the gates. Open the gates. Lebowski.
I classify as natural Negro with Nigerian blood. My first shout out goes up to the creator above. Then Mama San providing the shelter, love, and the grub. The whole 612.
Welcome to Face in the Face. So we're gonna talk about the NFL exit interview today. Certain issues is going on with the Super Bowl week going on, and you know, let's start out with they always got some stupid name. You know, they try to combine what they call clever ideas and put them together. You know, like what was that? Benifer. You know, when they put Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez together, and they put they just stick horrible things together. They put people,
Brangelina.
Oh yeah, Brangelina. Ugh. What do they do? Kimye and all that. Yeah. So now we're gonna talk about Deflategate. I hate why it's always got to be conspiracies. You got Watergate, so now we always got to have a conspiracy. Anything you think somebody's cheating about something. First of all, FARATI-SA, what do you got to say about Deflategate?
I mean, it's just that, that's one of the media's problems. It's like they try to create notorious stories from the past. I mean, everyone knows that the gate come from the Watergate during the Nixon administration. But they had Deflategate, Bountygate, Spygate, all this too many gates,
Antonio Gates,
all these
Marty.
gates. I mean, to me, I think this is really a non-issue, personally.
Exactly.
I mean, so what? They still, Indianapolis still got their ass whipped, whether the ball was inflated or deflated.
They made glue out of them niggas.
Shoot. Their face was plastered on the floor. They stomped on it.
Not even Elmer's quality.
Yeah, exactly. So again, and I think with this whole Deflategate, in my opinion, I think it even takes away or sells short what the Seahawks are trying to do. Because let's say the Seahawks play and they defeat New England by 25, 30 points. The thing that they're going to be talking about is not what great champions they are, but how Deflategate was a distraction, and that's why the Patriots couldn't perform to the standard that they performed in the past. Or let's say the Patriots, on the flip side, the Patriots win, they'll be saying, oh, they overcame the distraction of Deflategate and persevered and became Super Bowl champions.
Now, I personally will not allow Deflategate to be used in any medium as far as the Patriots' success or failure in this game. If they lose, they lose. If they win, they win. The Patriots are an organization that, to me, they're in the fight they're in the hunt every year of being in the Super Bowl. They might lose in the first round, they might lose in the divisional round and make it to the divisional championships, but they are always a threat. And so, just by having their controversy in the paper, it's not going to affect them to me. So I don't think they don't get that as a buy at all for anybody who would say that use any type of crutch for what the outcome of this game might be. I won't give the Patriots anything like that to lean on. Or the Seahawks, obviously, they're already Super Bowl champions, but just because of the longevity of the Patriots, they don't get that distraction mess with me.
Yeah, we both understand that. It's all about who prepares and who carries out their preparation to the fullest. But it's just that, to me, like in the mainstream media, of course, I'm predicting that people are going to ask those questions which shouldn't be asked. That's why I really despise this whole Deflategate story.
How are you going to account for 38 points by saying the balls were underinflated? Yeah. Now the defense of the Colts was a pretty decent defense for the whole year. They got destroyed that game.
Right.
Now, if the ball was deflated to a certain size, no, you're not going to make up the 38 points worth of mistakes. Right. And the Colts have their own balls to practice with throughout the entire week, so there's no excuse. Now, if you're going to blame anybody for this, you blame the guy who gets all of the balls before the games the guy who has to okay the balls, all 24 of them. Each team gets 12 at the beginning of the week. You blame that guy because he okayed all the balls. And he saw that 11 of 12 of them were deflated. He didn't say nothing. So that if you want to blame anybody, you blame him, I think. You know, and they probably will throw him under the bus eventually. The NFL wants to be mad at anybody about this whole situation, which is a stupid situation, which we're not going to talk about it no more because it's a waste of our time on this podcast. Blame yourself because you're the NFL. Keep your own balls in the stadium, in your own personnel's hands, and you supply the balls for the game. Who cares what kind of touch, what kind of texture the quarterback or the receivers like to have to work out during the week? You're the NFL. You provide the ball. These are professional athletes. Here's the game balls. You're going to play with these. Bam. Don't give the teams the opportunity to mess with the balls or to tamper with the balls.
Right.
I don't want to tamper with the balls. I wouldn't want somebody to tamper with my balls. Just on you. Well, whatever. Blame yourself. Blame yourself. Yeah. So, what's another topic we need to talk about in the NFL interview?
Marshawn Lynch.
Now, I agree we need to talk about Marshawn Lynch and his non-wanting to talk to the media, but we need to talk about the bigger subject of the NFL requiring athletes to talk extensively to the media.
Yeah.
Now, I understand Marshawn Lynch's view. You know, I think that he is probably a very, very well-spoken guy when he chooses to be.
Right.
And I think he spoke to the media earlier. Was it yesterday? Mm-hmm. And he explained himself of why he doesn't like to speak to the media. And I thought it made sense to me. Mm-hmm. But if you don't want to talk and you just want to focus on, because you know the media is going to try to get you off target. And off, they're going to try to get your mind going on. You're trying to focus on the game. Mm-hmm. What should be required for you to answer specific questions in a certain way, or answer questions at all? If you don't want to talk to the media, if somebody else, other people on the team are willing to do it, why are they forcing people to do it? Exactly. Go ahead.
Yeah. And there are always one of the arguments that some of the people were saying was that because if he doesn't want to talk to the media, then that'll set a precedent, saying that the other football players who do not like speaking to the media will not talk to the media as well, and then the media will not have any stories to write on based on their comments. And I'm thinking to myself, there are plenty of football players who enjoy the limelight, who enjoy the attention.
They love talking to y'all.
Who love to talk, who like to be on the Sports Center
with
their
Carol
sound
Owens
bites
every year.
They just narcissistic, there's plenty of them in the NFL.
And some guys who just like to talk.
Some of them even despise it when the media doesn't talk about them. They will be calling the news stations and saying, "Why didn't y'all mention my 8 receptions and 3 TDs or some shit like that?" And then Marshawn Lynch already has 2 teammates who are perfect sound bites for the team. You can write stories just based on their comments, in Richard Sherman and Doug Baldwin. So they speak enough for the team that will last them 2 days.
And Russell Wilson speaks like the coach himself.
Exactly. You have Russell Wilson, and you have a coach who, I was surprised he's 62 years old. Because he look like, he act like he's 45 or 29 or something,
And for me, I just think it's overall just an unfair precedent to have in the NFL to expect players to be interviewed directly after game. Sure, you can say we're the fans. We need to know exactly. Or one of the guys that was one of the reporters today was saying that the fans need to know exactly who the person is that they're that they're looking into. I'm like, no, you don't. This person doesn't need to have their personal business. It doesn't make my day any better. Like, sure, it's a good thing knowing the things that Marshawn Lynch does in the community. It's a good thing knowing the positive things he brings to his community and to not just Seattle, but to Oakland and everything else, everywhere, and all the other places that he affects. Right. But it's not. I don't feel cheated if he doesn't want to talk about that.
No.
He probably doesn't want to talk about it because he feels like he's bragging about it if he's talking about those kind of things that he does, Exactly. And he talks about those things with those people who are important to him. And me, I don't feel cheated out of not getting an interview with a specific person. I don't miss the days of where you get loud, boisterous athletes in every interview. But I think it's unfair for the NFL to make that mandatory because it's like, especially when the team is coming after a long, hard-fought game in which you lose, where it could have gone either way. You know, like when they interviewed Richard Sherman last year after the Niners game, that could have went either way.
Exactly.
You know, but he handled it very intellectually and in a very cerebral way. You know, because that's Richard Sherman. Exactly. But I think it's unfair, you know, to get somebody who may have lost the game and ask them to, not, you know, and stay within the lines of not saying anything out of color, out of, you know, and not saying anything that's not going to get you fined. You know, because the NFL has a very strict policy of what you can say and what you can't say.
Exactly. Or who you can endorse and what products you have to wear. And that was one point, that was several points that Richard Sherman made when him and Doug Baldwin came in with the puppet. It was like, I mean, the whole hypocrisy about the whole thing. I mean, they want them to talk to the media, but they don't allow to promote any of the products that they're endorsing. I mean, like with Richard Sherman with the Beats by Dre. I mean, they didn't want them to promote Beats by Dre. So, I mean, just a lot of hypocrisy going on in the NFL, and they'll make rules for certain people, but then they want them to do it a certain way, and that's not how you do. That's not what a partnership is, you know, because these athletes are what makes them all this money. And if they decide not to play football anymore, there won't be no NFL.
Exactly. If every Canadian football player came over in the NFL, if all the NFL players went on strike and they tried to replace them with Canadian football players, it wouldn't be the same.
Exactly.
The brand wouldn't be the same. So, for you to limit what they can and cannot endorse, being that they're the main endorsement for your entire league, you know, it is completely hypocritical. Yeah, but that's the NFL and how it's always been, you know. But I think things are slowly going to start changing over the next couple of decades. I'm not going to say the next couple of years, but it's going to take a while for it to change. But it's going to change. You know, as far as this exit interview, my main issues with the NFL is taking the luster away from the Super Bowl with all these other stupid issues that you allow to fester and become big media issues like the Deflategate. You know, you allow these things to happen by the way you micromanage everything, and you have too many people handling too few of things in the NFL. You know, it's like, why is it necessary? Like I was talking about with the Deflategate thing, is like you need one guy from your own headquarters to handle the personnel in your own stadiums of who gets what balls, and you need one guy for each stadium to handle that. But no, you instead decide to let your individual NFL entities handle all. You know, it's like that doesn't make any sense to me. There's just too many hands in the kitchen right now on the NFL. Yeah. Roger Goodell is the main hand, obviously, but he always seeks cover and tries to throw other people under the bus. Another main issue is like the NFL is too reactionary right now. You don't address issues when they're starting to fester. You only address issues when they're starting to make the NFL look bad in the media. You know, when there's a video of something. You know, when there's public opinion about something, that's when you guys decide to move on issues.
It's too much micromanaging going on in the NFL. They don't allow these players to be individuals. And what makes professional sports appealing is learning about the individual players, not just the team, but each player, the kind of flair, the kind of personality they have. I mean, and that's what Richard Sherman and Doug Baldwin is doing. I remember back in the day, used to be people like Deion Sanders or Michael Irvin who were colorful characters, but they helped the NFL gain an audience. You know, even those who don't really like watching football.
They wanted to watch just to see what they were going to do next.
Exactly. Because of them, because people got to know who they are, they like who they are. That's why they came and watched those games. Not just the team and the logo, but the people. And they just, yeah, like you said, I mean, I don't know when they're going to change the way they do things, but I mean, even look now, I mean, even with the NBA, they allow players in that league to be individuals, and they're thriving right now. I mean, the NFL doesn't change their ways soon. They may not be this billion-dollar organization that they are right now.
Well, I don't think they ever have to worry about that, really. But since you did bring them up, let's talk about the NBA. Tell me one thing that you know for certain that you're going to be able to say at the end of this NBA season.
That the Spurs will not repeat.
Wow. Bold statement said here by FARATI-SA on Post.
Yeah.
I can say for certain that one thing I know that I will see, Andrew Wiggins will be the Rookie of the Year, bar none. I don't care who else is a rookie this year. No, from the Sixers. No, you're not going to be the Rookie of the Year. No. No. There's no other rookie that's even close to what Wiggins has accomplished his rookie season. He's almost averaging double figures for like the last month and a half.
Yep.
You know, he can shoot. He can play D. He's getting the intangibles down in the NBA now. Just the spacing on the floor is getting better. He's tough. I just saw him get dropped on the floor earlier tonight on the back of his head, and he bounced up like it was nothing. Andrew Wiggins is going to be Rookie of the Year, and that was a good deal that Timberwolves made to get Kevin Love up out of here. It's going to take a couple years to pan out probably, but hey, it's good. It's a good thing they got going there with Andrew Wiggins. So I can say by the end of the year for sure, Andrew Wiggins will be Rookie of the Year.
I mean, hands down, man. I was a big Andrew Wiggins fan from the moment I heard about how he had that 44-inch vertical. I mean, when you have that kind of athletic ability, that means you have that ability to play defense. I mean, and once you're able to play defense, the offense is always going to come. I know people were a little bit iffy or suspect about whether he has a jump shot or his ball handling skills. But I think that the kind of skills that he already had, I mean, not everyone has those kind of skills. And I thought it was a great deal for the Timberwolves to trade Kevin Love, who is not really, he's more of a good role player. He's injury prone. And they decided to just destroy and rebuild. And they're starting with Andrew Wiggins. All you need for any organization to be great is to have one good star player and then build a supporting cast around him. So So I think Andrew Wiggins is a good base for the Timberwolves to start building around.
Anything? Is there another thing that you're going to say for certain you're going to get to say after the season?
I think Cavs will be in the Eastern Conference Finals.
For sure.
For sure. For sure. I don't see anything. I think it's Cavs and Chicago in the Eastern Conference.
One thing I think I will be able to say at the end of this regular season, and when the entire season is over, I think that it won't be undisputed that LeBron James is the best player in the NBA. I don't think it'll be undisputed at the end of the year. I think there'll be a three-way tie between LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Anthony Davis. This is how I feel about that. Which player are you most disappointed with this year?
Probably Kevin Love. Kevin Love, really.
Why is that?
No, actually, not even Kevin Love. I'll be really surprised. You might be surprised what I said. In the beginning, it was Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving, because I wasn't. I mean, I knew that he was a good player, but I didn't know he was Kobe 2.0. The fact that you're a point guard and you do not average a lot of assists. I mean, that to me, it kind of bothers me that you have a point guard and your assist your statistics and assists is not as high as a point guard should be. I mean, you think that you might as well be a shooting guard if you're not going to be a passer. So that probably was disappointing.
My biggest disappointment has been Serge Ibaka. I'm disappointed because everybody knew at the beginning of the year that Kevin Durant was hurt. That there was going to be somebody who was going to have to pick up the slack as a second scorer on that team. And everybody knows that you shoot a high shooting percentage. And everybody in the team has been telling you since before Kevin Durant got hurt to shoot the ball more when you are open. Serge Ibaka is 6'10". He can shoot the three. He can block shots. He can shoot the mid-range jumper, and he can dunk. When my example, just 2 nights ago, Kevin Durant didn't play. It was Westbrook scoring 40 points, and Serge Ibaka ended up with 10. He took like 9 shots. Westbrook took like 30, or 35, or something like that. Almost as many points. He took almost as many shots as he had points.
Right.
But it's like, dude, Kevin Durant's not even playing and you've taken 9 shots, you are the second option. You can't do that. You can't let, who else they got their starting lineup? They have, if Durant's not playing, they have Perry Jones III. You can't let Perry Jones III be the second option. You can't let Steven Adams be the second option. It has to be Serge Ibaka. But he totally flaunted. You can't let Deion Waiters be the second scoring option off the bench. You know, you got to step up, man. So he's been my biggest disappointment because Kevin Durant's been injured a couple times off and on this year, and Ibaka hasn't answered the bell, in my opinion. You know, he should be averaging, in the games that Kevin Durant isn't playing, he should be averaging between 17 to 23 points a game. He should be taking 15 to 17 shots. You don't let Russell Westbrook take over the whole. He's gonna have to be the floor general. Obviously, he's gonna need to be the main guy. But you gotta be that number 2, automatic.
I was really surprised that I didn't know that much about Serge Ibaka. I used to think of him more of a defensive player.
And he is, but he's very efficient on the offense.
Yeah,
you know, but
not an offensive type of player. That's why I thought they kept him instead of James Harden, just to stay with that defense.
they could have had all of them.
Yeah.
They could have had all of them together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but you know, Ibaka, he's kind of like Garnett in the fact that he wants to space the floor out, play good defense. He can score when he wants to score.
Right.
You know, he can shoot the 3 at like 38% or something like that. You know, he can shoot the mid-range jumper. I remember one playoff game a couple years ago, he was 11 for 11.
Right.
You know, so he can shoot.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
One time earlier this year, he was 7 for 7. You know, he can shoot, but he just hesitant to it. It's like, dude, they need you to shoot.
Right.
Yeah. So that'll do it for our NBA segment. We'll talk to you later.
First in the face. In the face.
Chunky! Open the gates! Open the gates! Lebowski!
I classify as natural Negro with Nigerian blood. My first shout out goes up to the creator above. Then Mama San providing the shelter, love, and the grub. The whole 612651, Chunky saying what up. I landed on the planet around 1400 hours. Sun up in the sky, newborn bastard, son of a cow. Don't care what was on